Hello, boys and ghouls. Welcome to the Vault of Horror Collectors. My name is Jason, and today we are going into the Vault of Horror Collector Robert O'Connor. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. Now, you don't just collect random horror things, items. You have a very specific collection. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I only collect from Bram Stoker's Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola's epic horror / love film. And I started about 5 years ago, going on,
Wow.
actually, this will be the 6th year. So I'm a relatively new collector, but I've been obsessed with the movie since it came out in '92 and never thought it was possible to even collect something from the film. And then came across something on eBay, my first prop that I saw, and I was willing to sell a kidney for it. But once I convinced the wife that it was a solid move, I collected that, and which you will see, and arguably maybe the best thing I still have in the Crimson Room. And from there, I've been very lucky over the last 5 years, I think. It's a pretty rare movie to collect from.
Mm-hmm. So, if you don't mind me asking, how old were you when you first saw
it? In '92, I was 22.
Okay, so you're a little older than me, because I'm thinking about when the movie came out, and I was around 10 or 11. But I definitely remember it being a big deal when that movie came out. The marketing was big.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal because the cast was really stacked, and Francis Ford Coppola, who did The Godfather, and so many big movies. So what gravitates you to this particular film?
Honestly, I mean, I've always liked, since I was young, horror and everything, but when I saw this movie, I think the incredibly passionate acting that Gary Oldman did just like blew me away. It was the first time ever seeing Gary Oldman, and I
think it was his first major, at least in the US, his first major film.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And of course, knowing the other cast and everything, but just the story, the score, like the music too was incredible. Won 5 Oscars, I believe. And yeah, the storyline was amazing, and the special effects. I was always big into like the special effects and how they did the film. It being like very little CGI and just mostly all, if not all, real special effects and special effects makeup, and I love that. So that also drew me to it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about this movie that makes me kind of go back to it. It has a very tactical feel with all the special effects and the matte paintings. I think the only optical effect is the ring of blue fire that in front of the castle. I think that's the only one. Everything else is done like either in camera or it's like some sort of like sleight of hand. And a lot of it feels like magician tricks.
Yeah,
like that's not real, but you just saw it with your own eyes, like actually happening, and you don't know quite how.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the things I love about that, is just all the practical sets and effects and everything. And it's one of those movies that I don't think could ever be made again in that same manner.
I agree. I think they've moved away from that and lost a lot of that old fashioned, even, I mean, it's been 30 years, but I'm talking about like older, just the films today just don't have that. And I'll take both.
I'm not dissing other effects, but it has a different feel than a lot of other ones. Like makes me feel like you're sitting on the magic show.
It was amazing.
The performance was big. Also, I love the costuming. I hope you have some, so I'll be interested to see.
I have some wardrobe.
Excellent.
I also had talk about Destiny. The screenwriter of the movie, which is James V. Hart, actually wrote Dracula as well as Hook. And he lived right across from where I live now, right across the Hudson River in New York.
Seriously?
Like right across from it. Like if you could cut through the trees, you'd like be able to see his home. So knowing that, and him being from New York and knowing about my collection through social media, last summer he came and took a visit to the Crimson Room, and he took his phone and started interviewing me, which completely caught me off guard.
That's awesome.
About my collection, the props and everything, and the behind the scene stories that he told us was absolutely amazing. He's awesome. He's
That's
so down
really
there,
cool.
really, really cool. And that was such an honor. He actually brought Gary Oldman's dragon cane, walking
Oh,
cane,
cool.
with him, and the neck on it was broken. And I do a lot of art and stuff like that, and even with metal. And he asked me if I could fix it, so I got to keep it I fixed it, and I got to keep it for over a year. And within that time, I was able to mold it and cast it and make my own silver plated walking stick right off of that cast.
Wow, that's cool. Now,
Yeah, I love that thing.
to your knowledge, is this the largest collection of items from that movie?
To my knowledge, I believe it's the largest, until somebody could tell me otherwise, and I'd love to talk to them because I like to buy some of their stuff. But I know of one other collector that really enjoys collecting from this movie, and that's Zach Baggins. He's from Ghost Adventures. He's a celebrity, but he does like a show, and he's really kicked my ass a few times in auctions. I just can't compete. So unfortunately, I don't do so well in auctions.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn it over to you. So let me just change my view. Okay, so the floor is yours. Take it away.
Sweet. All right, well, let's go through the gates. Let's come to the gates of my room.
Oh, cool.
I have lots of rare busts, as well as, a memorabilia and artwork and everything. But we'll start with my latest acquisition, which is this guy. He is a full-size, one of the statues from outside Dracula's castle.
Okay.
He's made out of plaster. He's 7'2". You could actually see the fake bird poop that they put on it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, because this was there was several, probably close to a dozen of them made for the movie, but some of them were inside and some of them were outside the castle. And from the bird poop, I'd say this one was outside the castle, but it weighs about 300 pounds at 7'2".
Wow.
And it was a complete nightmare to get here. I paid my my old stepson, to drive from New York to North Carolina with my dad's pickup truck, because it was pickup only. And it was well worth it when it got here. I was expecting it to be styrofoam or something, but this thing is really incredible. And I showed James V. Hart this guy, and because there's a great picture of James with it, or one of them, and he was blown away that it survived, because he said pretty much the entire set was demolished after.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the only time I ever saw one of these big guys for sale. And coming across over here, I have Gary Oldman's screen-worn shirt.
Oh, nice.
I put it on a mannequin. It was in a very memorable scene where Winona Ryder finds out that he's Dracula, but somehow remembers him from a past life. So it was a very, very, very monumental scene. I also have what's called the score, and any Bram Stoker's Dracula fans will know what that is. Francis Ford Coppola came up with the script as well as all the storyboards in here, and it was available for all the cast to be able to see. And this was James V. Hart's personal score that he had, and I was able to make a deal, because James V. Hart, if you're willing to make a donation, has Peter Pan Fund for children. Mm-hmm. So whenever he was willing to sell something or part something with something, he takes a donation. He doesn't take any money, but he takes a donation. Oh, that's very cool.
I saw cool. There was a hat and the glasses, or are those like imitation? Not imitation, but
on the table there, that is an authentic gray top hat that I got on eBay, but is not from the movie. Okay. And also an authentic antique pair of Prince Ned's glasses, but I just got those because they're rare and they fit the movie. But I do own Gary Oldman's gray top hat, which I will be getting to.
Okay. That's exciting. Okay.
This is a head cage from one of the asylum guards in the movie where Jack Stewart was and where they put R.M. Renfield. The guards there had these cages. It's real metal and real antique looking. They made it, and it has like a wool neck piece.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome because you can still see like all the sweat and dirt and grime from when whoever the actor was that wore this. So I love that piece.
I love the asylum set. It's a little cyberpunk in a way.
Yeah, no doubt. Even Renfield's like finger cuff thing, like it's all very kind of steampunk kind of.
Yeah, steampunk. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Cool feel to it. So these are a few of my full-size, large, impaled soldiers. In the opening scene with what's called the Red Wolf, when Gary Oldman wears the red armor, a lot of the people that were in the war, in the battle, were actually cut out cardboard or particle board, even metal or tin. The soldiers, if you like look at it, you're paying attention to not the live actors, but the background thing. It's all puppets.
Right.
So these are 3 of the full-size shadow puppets. I made the fakes for them out of dowels because it only came with the 3 puppets.
Can we see what the puppets look like?
Yeah. I'll come closer. These are the impaled ones, but I have a full battle of soldiers going, which I'm going to get to. Really cool. These are all made out of particle board.
Oh, those are in front. Okay, I thought those were behind the curtain. Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that even fooled me.
Even 30 years later.
Yeah.
So up here,
cool.
I have many of the soldiers, the shadow puppets, some impaled guys. These are all different sizes, made from different things. And then I put up behind it the battle scene, like on a poster, just to kind of give it a whole look. And those are all screen used. Some of them are taking a little bit of a beating, but others are mint condition. Here is a cast of Gary Oldman's Spearhead. It's not a screen used, but it was cast from the mold. And then here in my cabinet, got that. Hope you can see it well. This is a setup I have. Over here is a cast from the original mold of the Dragon Inkwell that was tipped over in the scene. This right here is the Victorian carrying case and supposed daguerreotype. I can't prove whether or not it's a true daguerreotype, which is one of the first, forms of photographs. I don't know if Francis Ford Coppola went that crazy with actually doing that, or if it's a photo behind there. But it's terribly faded because in the movie, Dracula's shadow knocks over this inkwell and spills ink, and they actually did spill something on this, and it kind of took away a lot of the image of Winona Ryder on it. I spoke to a professional about maybe seeing if it could be restored, one of the top professionals in the country for restoring photography. He said you'd probably be better off leaving it alone because it may wipe away that ghost image, him taking it apart and trying to see what's behind that glass. So I just leave it alone, but I did a nice setup in here. A lot of old antique things to just go with the display. Here is Gary Oldman's screen worn fangs and dental impression.
Wow.
This was the first prop, the one that I got on eBay that I thought I might have to sell a kidney. But it's just resin on top of his plaster dental impression, and it's on this cool like stone display that was made by Mike Spina. So down here, right here, dead center, I have Abraham Van Helsing's holy wafer that he uses on Winona Ryder to burn her forehead and kind of like subdue the as she's turning into a vampire.
Wait, so what's that thing made out of?
It feels like resin, feels like plastic.
Uh-huh.
And
Very
has the
cool.
cross on it. Over here, I have one of the fangs, set of fangs for Winona Ryder. It says on her case, on the case that it was held in, it was the second stage, Mina's second stage fangs.
Mhm.
Super, very delicate. I definitely don't like touching that very much at all. And then over here, this is Sadie Frost, Lucy Westenra's Victorian necktie. It is a beautiful piece that I got from a collector in the UK, and he was so kind to reach out to me because he knew about my collection, and I really appreciated that he did that on the side, giving me the first opportunity to own it. Came in a plastic stage bag that when I opened it, the past owner that I got it from, that the collector was getting it from, I don't think she ever opened that stage bag because I could still smell the perfume that Sadie Frost wore during that scene.
Wow.
Like, which was absolutely crazy to me, which of course gave me the dilemma of whether or not I keep it in the stage bag and keep that authenticity, or do I put it out to display? And I was like, I just want to be able to enjoy it. So,
Right.
and then down here, this is one of Dracula's bride's bracelets. It's metal, made up of all different charms, and it's all blinged out. Pretty heavy, pretty awesome piece that I got. And that was not that long ago. Here is one of the coins that was for production. It was in deleted scenes, so it never made it to the movies. But it's metal, and then I put a bunch of resin copies around it just for the display. Over here is another Anthony Hopkins item. It is his telegraph that he received when he when one of his past students needed help because Lucy, the Sadie Frost, was displaying some strange symptoms and loss of blood and so on and so forth, and needed his professor's help. But it's kind of cool because they have a misspelled word in there. I think it's like not a moment could be lost or something like that, but it was misspelled, and you could see it in the movie. And then I was so nervous when this was coming because I couldn't wait to read it. I was like, please let that be also misspelled, because I never noticed it, and seeing it 100 times over 30 years, and I never noticed it was a misspelled word, and until somebody pointed it out to me, and then I was like, holy crap, I hope that's the same thing on what I'm getting in the mail. But yeah, this is all my carrying kit and my display case. All right, so my crowning joy of the Crimson Room is Gary's top hat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this to me is my favorite thing by far. It's just one of the most memorable moments in the film for me was when he went from old to young. And I mean, I'll tell you, Gary has a pretty small head because I put a hairnet on when I first got it, and I can't lie, I put it on, but white gloves, hairnet. I didn't want to mess up because something that's really awesome on it, on the inside leather brim, still has Gary's makeup from the movie,
Oh.
which I think is an awesome little feature about that. Over here is the cane that I was saying that I made from Gary Oldman's cane.
Mhm.
But Gary's was way older looking, way more patina, because it's actually made of white bronze and then silver plated. And the gentleman that was the prop master for the movie, is the one who helped me with the process and everything like that, told me what it's made of, what the cane was made of, what the metal was. But really cool. All right, so here's some little costume. Here's a thigh piece, the thigh armor. It's not the one that he wore in the movie because that's all over at Francis Ford Coppola's vineyard. But this is from the master mold, and it came raw, and I painted it and everything like that. But I mean, it is a awesome piece.
Do you know what the armor is actually made out of?
Yeah, it was made from plastic. I mean, it was plastic. It was all
plastic. Okay.
Yeah, it was all a quick pour plastic that they use a resin for the movie because they were so pinched for time.
Mhm.
So what they originally wanted to do versus what they did was a little different. These are all casts from the original molds though, and super rare to find like all the parts. Like this helmet is made up of 4 parts. So to find all the parts and I constructed them together and painted it. But
can you do like kind of a side view if you can, like maybe towards the back?
For
It
sure.
It looks like a samurai.
Yep, it has the
kind of like a Darth
fin.
Vader samurai.
Yep, has like the fin in the back like that. It does have. Well, I mean,
Darth Vader based on samurai, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big Asian flair because of the costume designer.
Yeah, I love that costume because it feels like someone's been skinned.
It looks like muscle underneath it. You're right.
Yeah, it's almost like it almost looks something more close to the Hellraiser than what you expect from a Dracula movie.
Agreed. But I mean, it's cool that they call it the Red Wolf. I mean, they called him the Red Wolf, which you can see that's where it gets its form from. But
right,
really cool.
I mean, that's. I would just think seeing someone wearing that on the battlefield would be really intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. This is a stunt rhino Bowie knife that was used by Winona Ryder, also screen used. It's rubber, but it was the one that was used for her to decapitate Dracula at the end of the movie. This was a good one. I had to make a good trade in order to obtain this one, and part of the trade was my Asylum Guard helmet, and then I got it back again in the future when we made a deal. I was like, it was a deal in the beginning. We were like, if you ever want to move it, please let me know and give me first shot at it. So I ended up getting it back, which is kind of cool. This is a early production letter. Again, obviously not screen used, but yet still kind of very cool piece because it kind of shows what they worded it and how they worded it was different than how they used it in the movie, but it was kind of shows. I love that kind of stuff that shows the thought process behind the scenes.
Oh, so that's the letter she wrote to the Count.
This is the one that she wrote. Yeah, to Vlad, telling him it's like a breakup letter.
Is the Dear John letter?
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw one go at auction, and again, it was worded properly. When Dracula gets the letter and he cries, it like drops like purple tears onto the letter, and you can see that the purple drop was not in the proper spot, as the one was in the movie, but it also was kind of like a back production, and it went at prop store for a decent amount. So I think it's kind of cool to have different versions of it, and they all kind of tell a story how it ended up where it did. Again, not a prop, but you said that you want to see like rare things, and here are all the different faces, life casts of Dracula. A couple of them are super rare. This one is not. I mean, you can get this one anywhere. This one is the bat creature, which is really super awesome, really rare. I only know of a couple people that have this. I had to obtain it through trade, actually from one of the makeup artists that worked in the under Greg Cameron for the movie. So and then you have the old Dracula and just plain old Gary Oldman young. But cool life casts. And then over here, I have, there's no way to really tell whether how authentic this is, but I got this on eBay from somebody that was supposedly, very reputable. It's a beeswax candle. They use many throughout the movie, lots of beeswax candles. And this one's super big and long and old. And I mean, could be real. No way to really prove it if they had 100 candles on set, but still kind of cool. This is some pieces of the castle. I don't know how well you could see it, but
the miniature.
Yeah, they had a miniature castle. Obviously they built.
Sorry, wrong button.
Oh, good. So yeah, this is a bunch of pieces. You can see them floating around on eBay and everything like that. But I think I got from the gentleman who purchased the set some of the best pieces, including a couple of. I know you won't be able to see them, but the soldiers, like my giant one. Two little ones. These were also really used in the movie, but it's kind of cool that I have ones that are 2 inches, and now I have one that's 7'2". This was like the biggest piece of set dressing that I purchased before I got the Romanian Knight. It's a Dracula shield, and you could see it in a scene where old Dracula's in the castle with Keanu Reeves. And it's on the wall. It's on the side of the wall. You don't even really get a good look at it, but this thing is wood, and on the back of it, it has like actual straps for you, leather straps for you to put with buckles for you to wear. I'm like, it's absolutely unreal, and it's heavy. I mean, I'm talking, it's all solid wood. I don't know what kind of wood they use, but and it's paint. It looks hand painted, and just incredible amount of work to go into something that is seen on the side. Nobody knows what it is. I could tell you right now, nobody that has ever seen that movie knew what that was when they watched it. But it's this beautiful dragon, and I apologize about the glare from my flaming chandelier, but it's a great piece.
That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know if it's like you're working for Francis Ford Coppola, so you're pulling out all the stops on every side of the production, but it's just mind-boggling.
Yep, truly was. And here's Bill Campbell. He played Quincy P. Morris. This is one of his shirts. I got this in the same auction that I got Gary Oldman's blue shirt. It went for a great price. I really spent the majority of what I had to spend on Gary's, and I was hoping I could get this, but it didn't go for much at all. And I was super excited to get something that I could actually screen match too. Just my display for the shirt. Doing the displays is one of my favorite parts. Well, just even finding like authentic lanterns to go, next to certain pieces, or old church lighting. And this has been a lot of fun making this room and making this collection. And I hope to continue to grow it. I mean, I've done lots of paintings. All the paintings in here, I've painted myself.
Yeah,
but
your passion in it is very obvious.
Thank you.
How often do you watch the movie? Just to sit down and watch?
Honestly, I probably haven't seen it for probably 3 years now. I don't see it as much as I used to. If I had to give a total, honestly, it's not that crazy amount. I've watched clips and I research it, and I enjoy learning about it more than actually watching it now. Although I could probably recite almost every word from every character from the amount of times that I've watched it.
Yeah, I noticed there's certain movies I've seen so many times that like I can just like see the scenes, and I almost prefer to watch like the making of documentaries almost more, just it's kind of rearranging because I'm so used to the rhythm of the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then also meeting and also talking with a lot of the people that were behind the scenes, whether they're makeup artists or the screenwriter or the prop master and things like that. I recently just had Sadie Frost, who plays Lucy, reply to a DM on Instagram to me, and a grown ass man was blushing and like it means something. It doesn't put any money in my bank account, but boy, was that exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But other than just like other memorabilia like watches, and I have lots of different things, figures and stuff, rare artist editions. But other than that, that's about it for my collection. This is an original, one of the original artwork pieces that they were doing for the movie that I purchased. It's got I actually got a folder with a bunch of different like prints from this drawing that was made, but this one was the only color one. So I moved the other ones along, and I kept that one because it's really cool. And this is the box that the top hat came in. And it's kind of funny that on top it says Gray and Keanu Reeves. It says Keenan Reeves. And then that's all scribbled out, and then it says Gary Oldman under it. And it's got like some lot tags on it. And I also put some lot tags. Yeah, down there it says Gary Oldman as Dracula, gray top hat. And there's some more of the lot tickets that came with the top hat.
So which was the first piece you got?
First piece I got was the fangs.
The fangs,
and that was that was on eBay, and I missed the Greg Cameron auction because I never knew that, like I said, that was even a possibility. There's a lot of things that went at that time that I might have had a chance at, but it didn't. I didn't know. Nobody told me. But props in general now, I don't need to tell you, I've gotten like out of control. The prices I don't know if it go in this market. I mean, the true collectors that have been doing it for a long time probably know way better than I do if this kind of market fluctuates up and down. But so many things I see that are going for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, or I mean, I'm like unreal. I don't, most of the stuff that I have now, I feel like current day, even though I'm only talking a few years ago, I don't think I could afford if they went to auction like 90% of the things that I own. The hobby itself has just absolutely exploded.
Are there any holy grail items that you would love to someday get that you're like, that's on your top of your wish list?
Oh, that's an amazing question. Well, first and foremost, my goal is to try and own something from all the main characters. Just one thing. That's like a personal goal, and I have almost everyone except for the actor that plays Jack Stewart, who is the Doctor, and Arthur Homeward, who is Carrie Ellis, right? Princess Bride, dude. Yeah, I those are like two of the main characters that I don't have. But Holy Grail, I always say the two things that I want that I feel like might be obtainable is the razor that Gary licks the blood off of.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be so amazing to have that. And also his original Prince Nez glasses, the blue ones. I've always loved that. And I'd like to throw in there that maybe someday also owning Gary's dragon cane. I do have like the second best thing since I made it off of the original, but I do have on video where James V. Hart said maybe he would leave it to me in his will. I actually just had to send it to his son who lives in California because he was going to a 30-year anniversary screen showing of Bram Stoker's Dracula in LA. And it was like a must-dress-in costume. So I sent him the cane. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but I felt very fortunate to have it for a year.
What do you have that belong to Harker?
Well, honestly, the daguerreotype of Mina.
Oh, right. Okay.
That was Keanu's.
Okay.
And also one of the most pivotal. This is honestly my second favorite, even over the fangs. My second favorite prop because it was seen more times in the movie than Gary's fangs. Like it was seen with Gary, it was seen on its own. It was seen with Keanu holding it, and it was that moment in the movie where, like, Gary Oldman, Dracula, after 400 years, saw the picture that she was reincarnated, like his wife who killed herself in the movie, in the beginning of the movie, because she received like a letter from the Turks that Dracula was facing, that he was killed in battle, so she killed herself. And then Anthony Hopkins, who is the priest, basically tells Dracula that she's doomed, she killed herself, she can't go into heaven. So she came back, she was reincarnated. That's why Dracula was buying all the land all over London, and 400 years is just destiny. That's why the first, when he sees her, and I wish you could actually see like a little ghost image of her when she passes. Like, I could send you a picture, but
yeah, I kind of see it
at an angle you could see her. But the first thing that Dracula says when he sees this image is like, "Do you believe in destiny?" Like, he was searching for so long, and then finally, like, there she is. And that's why I just recently also cut out that shadow in the background on the. That's a map of London, like from an old antique 1800s atlas I printed out there, but I put Gary's shadow back there because that's like right when he sees it. So I thought that was kind of cool to put with that daguerreotype. So there's that's Keanu Reeves. I have Winona Ryder. I have Gary. A few things of Gary. I have Anthony Hopkins. I have one of the brides, which I'd love to have something from Monica Bellucci because she's still still kind of in love with her. I can't lie. Don't tell my wife. She knows. But yeah, and then Sadie Frost, Lucy, I have something from her, and Bill Campbell, I have something from him. Another, I would love to have something from Renfield. I mean, technically, I go, his Asylum Guard. Somebody that was watching him. That's what I'm counting for right now is like a saving the place for an actual Renfield. But there isn't a lot that I could get from Renfield. I would love those finger cuff things.
Yeah.
I think I saw that years ago. His glasses went to auction, but otherwise, you're not going to find his like straitjacket or anything. And there's really nothing else really other than that related to him. So that's gonna be a tough one.
All right.
This is a script that I also purchased from James V. Hart that is all originally signed by most of the cast. I mean, some of the ones that don't even sign anymore, but Gary's here, Anthony's here, Winona's on here, Monica Bellucci's on here, Richard E. That's Jack Stewart. That's the actor I was saying. Most of them, and that's all original signed with ink. That's kind of a cool piece too.
That's very cool. All right, well, that's one hell of a collection. I really appreciate seeing someone's singular passion for a movie like that. That's really cool.
I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to show it because I've had so many people from all over the world that love this movie, which I had no idea there was so many that have like begged to, can I come see it? I'd get on a plane to come see it. Or I did let one fan that I met online that reached out to me come here. He flew in and I let him sleep in the Crimson Room for 2 nights.
Have you seen the movie Nope?
Which one?
The Jordan Peele movie Nope that came out this summer.
No, I have not seen it.
Okay, there's a scene very much like that where someone talks about a story like that. I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was able to come here. I let him hold a lot of the things. I even let him wear a couple of things. Like it was, and take pictures with it. And for a fan that's as passionate as I am, that was like, he says, one of the most memorable, greatest moments, of his life. So that's so awesome. And so for you to give an opportunity that if anybody sees this that loves the movie, to be able to see where some of the things ended up, I appreciate that opportunity too, because I feel almost a little guilty of having it and being able to hog this up, all these beautiful things, treasures to myself, and not be able to share it with more fans.
So where can people find you?
Well, I have an Instagram account, which is Bram Stoker's Dracula Crimson Room, and or the Dragon 92. You can find me that way too. But that's where I share all my newest editions and artwork and all kinds of things like that, and just interesting or perverted posts, entertainment.
Do you have a Twitter or an email people can reach you as well?
Feel free to reach me at email. It's XRAYD as in dog, ID, the number 1 at yahoo.com. I'm an X-ray tech. And you can reach out to me that way. If you ever wanted to reach out with me, I don't have Twitter. I don't have TikTok. I don't have anything like that. I'm old.
Cool. Again, thank you for inviting us into your crypt and showing off your wares. And again, I'll post this on what was it, November 13th, which will be the 30th anniversary
Awesome.
of the movie coming out, which is just wild to think about. We appreciate everyone for watching. We'd really appreciate it if you would give us a rating and review on iTunes under the Dads from the Crypt podcast, and click a like and subscribe on your YouTube. And with that, we thank you for watching A Vault of Horror Collectors. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Have a good night.
You too, bud.